Ultra Vegeta 1 has now hit Dragon Ball Legends. This guy is looking amazing, and you want to know whether you should summon or skip this unit. Well, if you're looking for the advice, I'm going to give you everything you need. We're going to go through some things you should consider before you summon. We're going to go through his kit, and then I'm going to give you an opinion on whether I think it's worth it for you guys to summon. And I'll also tell you whether I'm summoning, because people like to follow what I'm doing with the Dragon Ball Legends releases. DAIMA is very hyped, so overall, if you are going to summon, I can only say good luck. But you should listen to everything I've got to say in this video before you do make your decision. Let's get into this. So we've got Legends Limited Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. As an adult, they skipped the mini form and immediately went into his strongest variation. Here are some things you should consider. Number 1, consider your chrono crystals. You probably just summoned on Ultra Perfect Cell, and if you didn't, then you'll be fine to summon regardless. But if you did, you've probably only got about 3,000 chrono crystals at max. And with that amount of chrono crystals, the odds of you getting this unit just isn't very high. Even if you did get them, you might feel they are lackluster because they're not high starred, and then you feel like you wasted your chrono crystals, so you might be better off just saving for another unit so you can get more copies of them and have them higher invested than this unit who you'd possibly not get anyways. But let's say you did, you'd only have them one copy probably at the highest, and they just wouldn't be that good. Not to say Vegeta is going to be bad, but that just happens all the time. Number 2, you guys are not content creators, so you guys don't have to rush in and immediately summon on this unit. You guys can watch showcases. There will be content creators that will take the fall for you. They will summon no matter what because they want to get their videos out. Watch the videos and then get opinions, not just from your favorite content creators. Watch someone new, watch someone that's potentially smaller, maybe someone with a worse off account than you're usually used to seeing, simply because you can get different perspectives, because you don't have the account that a content creator will have who probably spends money all the time. So you got to consider things like that, because when you summon for a unit and your unit isn't looking like how they looked in the video, it's because you don't have the same account. Outside of that, you might want to consider the near future. Tiny said this is a DAIMA campaign. Forbid we get a DAIMA Ultra and you summon on Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta and then 4Q just shows up. I'm not saying he will, but if they drop anything else, you will want to be ready and loaded for it. So maybe consider how deep you're gonna go, or not go in at all, as this banner will be here the 25th of May. It's gonna be here for a minute, so there's no need to rush. And kind of tying in with what I said earlier in regards to showcases, showcases are not always correct. People put out their showcases and they give their opinion on how they felt about them, but it could be in literally a week the unit's not used anymore. I feel like that's strongly the case with Super Saiyan Goku, the instant transmission guy, but it could also be the case that the unit is strongly used after a week. So you might want to just wait until you see how PvP unfolds, then put your chrono crystals out. The final thing I want to add is that this banner, it seems like they're gonna give you free summons. Now I don't know if this is true or not, but in the end of the reveal, not the whole reveal, but after they showed the characters, it said that you can get 10 free summons every single day up to 100. Now if this is on the Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta adult banner, then as a result you guys should not summon. Just don't summon and do all the free summons first, because you might have a chance of getting Vegeta. That doesn't make him free, but it means you have a possibility of getting him for free, if that's how I interpreted what they showed at the end. I don't know if that's the case, it might be for a different banner, but if it is for the Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta banner, then you can just grab him for free, potentially by the way, instead of spending your chrono crystal straight away, but that depends on how much you want to invest anyways. Let's get into the kit. So we have the kit here. He's a melee type. I know it doesn't say here, but he's a melee type, and he's element green. Every Super Saiyan 3, sorry, this is Ultra Vegeta 1, but every other Super Saiyan 3 is literally always green. We got the tags here: Vegeta Clan, Saiyan, Super Saiyan 3, DAIMA, of course, and the episode from DAIMA Saga. Now him being a melee type, here are Z abilities. So at the Z ability 4, 38% to tag DAIMA, tag Vegeta Clan, or tag Saiyan base strike attack and blast defense, and 18% to tag DAIMA base strike defense. Most of you guys will be concerned with Z ability 3. If you get him to at least, I believe, 6 stars, then you can get this Z ability, but 4 is at 14 stars, so you won't have to worry about it. Looking at the strike arts, you can see here he has blast arm on it, and something that's important to note is that he'll consistently be debuffing the enemy, making them take more damage while he already does a lot of damage, which you will see later. So he blast arm on the strike, which is nice, and then here he's going to be building up damage sustained, so he's going to be doing more damage while already having a lot of damage in his kit. The same thing with the blast, doing a lot of damage, breaking them down. Special move here. Now the main thing to note is that he can nullify endurance as long as there's 2 enemy battle members. So as long as the enemy isn't last stand, his blue card will nullify endurance. He does special move damage, which is standard. Then he's got health restoration minus 100%, which could be useful depending on who you're fighting. But blast armor is a standard. But this here can be cancelled. But just note that he's going to be able to cancel nullify endurance just off blue cards. So it's a good way to potentially get people's buffs out the way if they do cancel buffs off blue anyways. Here we've got the green card. Now the green card is nice, but I kind of have like a complaint about it. He draws a strike cards off it, which is nice. Key and health, that's standard. And then damage inflicted, which is very, very good. 30% is a lot. Now he gets cover null. That's amazing. It can be cancelled, but it probably won't be. Now these two things is what people are seeing as amazing. The main thing I like is that he cancels sealed status of the own rising rush, but I don't know how to feel about this part where it says cancel sealed status of all own cards. So with this, it would be ironic, wouldn't it, if you need the green card to cancel the status of your sealed cards, right? So they can be used. You want them unsealed. But what if my green card is sealed? How do I unseal my green card if my green card is sealed? You know, I can't fix the problem. The solution's broken. Do you know what I mean? It's not like that will happen every time, but it's a possibility. You know, like some characters seal a specific slot, and that's where my green card is. I'll be like, oh brother, so now I can't unseal it because I don't have a green card. Yeah, but this is amazing regardless, and you will be able to get benefits out of this in the scenario that your green card isn't sealed. Going into the ultimate arts, the ultimate arts is pretty plain. Nullify endurance, damage inflicted, ultimate damage inflicted. But what's great about it is that he gets an additional 20% ultimate damage inflicted for every DAIMA character or Vegeta clan character on his party. So he can get 40% extra if it doesn't include himself. Oh, it says other than this character. I should actually read. My fault, my fault. Main ability here, randomly destroys 2 of your own cards and draws a special arts card. So that's a green card, and the ultimate arts card. Rapid Storm Cannon, restores own health by 25% and key, which is standard. Shortens ally sub count by 3. And then here also reduces enemy vanish gauge to 0% if there are 2 defeated battle members. If you remember in 2024, Bomb Crew had this. If he's last stand, he can remove your vanish. Vegeta does the same thing, and then he can hit an ultimate, which is nice. 25 time accounts for it, that's standard. Now we've got the unique ability. Now what's very impressive to note is that here, 250%. That is crazy. That's ultra standard. You know Cell, Ultra Cell, his says 200%. Vegeta's over here is saying 250%. That's kind of nuts. But then here you've got the typical. So the damage received is reduced, reduced impact, all those type of damage. Draw speed and the cost go down, which is nice. Here the following effects occur when his character enters the battlefield. He gets key and card on entry. He's going to cancel attribute downgrades, and that's every time. And shorten ally sub counts by 2, which activates twice, which is very nice. And then ally applies buff effect attribute downgrade up to 2 times for allies. So any attribute downgrades, he won't be able to cancel buffs, but nullifying attribute downgrades is nice because that means your team, as I believe as well as him, won't be able to basically get debuffs, so they can take amazing damage. Like they will be decently tanky for the most part, and DAIMA is a very tanky team, so this is very, very impactful. It's actually a much greater thing than you might realize, and it applies 5 times, so that's going to be most games, the whole game. If unique gauge is over as at 50% or more, also consumes 50% of it, and the following effects occur. So if you want to know how his gauge works, on standby his gauge will be filling slowly, and then once it hits 50% it will consume, and then he'll get these buffs. Restores own health by 15%, 30% damage inflicted for 10 time accounts. Applies the following buff effect. He reduces key effect, so it's nullified. He can't get his key reduced. He goes type neutral for the damage he takes. He's going to destroy 2 enemy cards and reduce enemy key. So he's got like kind of combo breaking here. It's not major, but he also becomes tankier, which is nice. Here applies the buff effect, nullifies enemy special action to activate when changing cover. So cover null. When he presses a strike or blast starts, that's basically on the first card that he enters the battlefield with. He'll have 5 time accounts of cover null, strike or blast, which is very useful. Applies the following effects to self if you have 1 or fewer cards. After this character uses a strike or blast card, and this activates once, and this will affect the reset after switch, so just bear that in mind. So if you have 1 of your card, you'll get 2 more cards, you'll restore key by 40, get damage inflicted 50% is crazy, and he's gonna go type neutral. Now I want to tell you about the best position to use this. So it's at the end of your combo. You know, usually when you run out of cards, you will actually get 2 more cards, and then you also get key to do those 2 more cards, and you also get get damage inflicted to do those cards, and you'll also get type neutral to do more damage. So your last 2 cards are going to be the most impactful. So because of that, if you don't want to, you know, you can take advantage of the cards and do crazy damage, but you could also just hit a Rising Rush and do major damage. Most people cancel buffs, but you could do that. You could also hit an ultimate, which could do crazy damage, but those cancel buffs. Bear in mind that a lot of this is cancelable, which is high-key a downside, but you should just bear that in mind. Now we're going into unique ability 2. It's not going to be too much. He's got a blast cover change, just bear that in mind, and it can combo the blue card. Charges unique gauge while his character's on standby, so like I already mentioned, his unique gauge starts at 50% at the start of the game, and then here applies the following effects itself every time an ally is hit. So while he's on standby and his allies, or whoever's on his team, is getting hit, he's going to restore health every single time they get hit. He's going to fill his gauge 4%, so 3% heal, 4% gauge, 50% special move damage, which is crazy. And also he's going to activate activation counts resets when this character enters the battlefield, so this happens every single time. And shorten sub count by 1, this activates only twice. So there's huge benefits for him being on standby, considering he doesn't have any survivability. He doesn't also cancel boss as well, but that's what I guess DAIMA queues for if you're running him on DAIMA. But he's a Saiyan, so yeah, he's not exactly restricted to DAIMA, but he gets the max out of his ultimate on DAIMA. But you could also run him on Vegeta clan, which is super good. The following effects occur when an ally defeats an enemy. So you can see here, restores on health by 20%, reduces enemy Dragon Balls by 1. The following effects occur when ally is defeated here. So he's going to get some bust for himself. Increases on Dragon Ball by 1, which is probably the best thing. You know, it might save you. The minute you lose somebody, you're able to Rising Rush after, but healing the other person on your team is good. So it's like the health gets extracted as they get eliminated, and you also get damage inflicted for your ally, which is nice. And then here, you would think this leads into buff cancellation, you know, the typical special move, ultimate, awakened arts, but he's gonna debuff them every special move, every ultimate and awakened arts, and he shortens ally sub counts quite consistently. Blue cards, you'll be able to get people out of there. So even though he doesn't cancel buffs, he does actually save some of his teammates. You know, he can be super useful, or rather he's saving himself because his teammates will probably have survivability or some tankiness, like Tamagami 3, super tanky. DAIMA Goku, he can have survivability, you know. So yeah, that's his kit. I think it's pretty solid, nothing too amazing. It's quite plain, but he does do some things that are very useful for the DAIMA team, which I'll explain. Now we're going into whether I think you guys should summon. I'm going to be straightforward with you guys. I think it's honestly just a preference. This guy is amazing, but he's not amazing to the point where if you didn't have him, you might feel suffocated. Now I do feel like he's a very good pillar to help up Dragon Ball DAIMA as a team, but if you had any other team, so for example Future, maybe you're running androids, you know, you don't really need this guy. Vegeta clan, you probably need this guy. He's a good asset for Vegeta clan. He's a good asset for DAIMA, but beyond from that, you might have some combinations that would work with him, but you wouldn't need him. So the question that I want to ask you is, do you like him? Do you like Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta? If you do, that's all reason to summon and you will be good. He's amazing. Like I looked at his kit, he's able to support his team. He has a bunch of healing factors. He doesn't have endurance or survivability, and he doesn't cancel buffs. But on the team, he's able to keep the attribute downgrades low, which means that the team overall won't be taking any big hits, and that's amazing. He also debuffs the enemy consistently. His combo potential is pretty good. He gets cover null very easily. He can nullify endurance on the blue card as long as there's 2 enemies alive. His ultimate can do a lot of damage if he's run on DAIMA or Vegeta clan, so he has a lot of pros. He will also have the Zenkai buff of the green DAIMA Goku, who's the quickest Zenkai we've probably ever seen in Dragon Ball Legends history, which is crazy. But in general, he'll have Zenkai buffs available to him just because he's a Vegeta clan unit and a Saiyan. So overall, you will have fun with him and he will be good if you have him. I just do advise investing a little bit. His damage inflicted is high, but everything else that's not in his main unique one is pretty much cancelable. So even though you'll be getting damage inflicted consistently, a lot of people cancel buffs, so it might not be consistent high output, but he is super good because he breaks the enemy down. So honestly, it's just a preference. Do you like him? If the answer is yes, summon. If you liked him and he was really bad, the answer might turn into a no, but he's actually good enough to be put on teams that you would run and he'll feel amazing. So as long as you like him, you should pull, and that's pretty much all there is to it. He's not bad, he's good. He's actually pretty good actually, and he's gonna fit teams very well. Being green is just a safe element, I feel like, but outside of that, it's a preference matter. Now, some of you guys would want to know whether I'm going to be summoning, and based on what I just said, I actually do like everything related to DAIMA. It's what I've been saving for more than anything, so I will be summoning without a doubt. I've got like 20,000 Chrono Crystals. I'll be using all of it until I get DAIMA Vegeta. I want to get at least 2 to 3 copies, at least 6 stars, and I'll be happy with that. I don't need more than that, and I still want to get Glorio. Glorio's a HP buffer for DAIMA. Glorio has been shafting me on the other banner, and given that there's 3 free summons I don't actually want to press too hard on. So I think how I'll go about it, I might just summon for 1 copy, wait until I do all those free summons, given that it's for Vegeta, and then after that, if I feel like it, I will then go back in and try to get Vegeta higher starred, and then I'll be saving to the anniversary probably. Hopefully they don't drop a DAIMA Ultra, but hey, the devs are unpredictable and DAIMA's finished now, so we won't know. But yeah, the answer is yes, I'm summoning because I like DAIMA. That's it. His kit could have had 1 line and I would have summoned. But yeah, man, that's going to be the end of the video. I tried my best to give you the best advice in regards to this Legends Limited Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta adult. He's looking really nice, honestly. I love his animations. His LF was beautiful. That final flash hit different, I'm not gonna lie. It ain't got no bodies, but boy, it's clean. Well, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, man. If you haven't already, make sure to press the subscribe button. We're on this grind to 200,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys for watching, man. My name's Zakashi, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man.